Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all having, at the very least, a pretty good day. Today we're going to be doing a Wii Sports tier list, and at the end of the video is going to be a quick channel update if you're interested, but you clicked on this video for a tier list of all the game modes from Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, so let's get started. Alright, so I'm going to quickly explain what each of the tiers in the tier list kind of signify, so you don't get the wrong impression. So S tier is going to be absolutely amazing games, the ones I play frequently. A tier is going to be ones that are also really solid, play them quite a lot. B tier is going to be games that are pretty good, come back to them every once in a while. C is going to be games that are just there, they're just alright, and I play them, from time to time. And D tier is going to be games that aren't necessarily bad, just are flawed in ways, and ones that I don't really play at all. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's get started with the tier list here. So first up, we have Wii Sports Resort Bowling, and that's going to be a pretty easy A tier for me. I think this one's really solid, just improved upon the original. It's definitely one of my most played sports. Same goes for a 100-pin game, although I think I definitely prefer the original bowling better. And since this is more of the same, I think I'm going to put it in B tier. And this is basically based on the fact that it's effectively a copy of the original, and it's something I just play from time to time when I'm looking for a bit more of a challenge. And speaking of more of a challenge, we have Spin Control. I think this is actually better than a 100-pin game. Definitely adds more challenge, and it's pretty fun to play. Alright, so next up we have Power Cruising, and Power Cruising is one that I don't enjoy all that much. I think the motion controls, especially with the nunchuck, are really flawed. They don't work well, at least for me. This could be something with my controller, but I don't think the general consensus of this sport is very good. So it and its versus mode are going to go D tier, with the versus mode going above, just because playing with another person is more enjoyable than playing with the frustrating controls by yourself. Next we have Canoeing, which is, at least for me, a similar case to Power Cruising, where the controls aren't the best, and a lot of the time my movements aren't accurately represented in-game, which can be really frustrating at times. Also, it's somewhat annoying having to restart over and over rather than be able to continually paddle without interruption, but that isn't too big of a deal, because I already don't enjoy canoeing all that much. I'm going to give it a D tier here, but it is significantly better than Power Cruising, and the versus mode is going to be a little better as well, because playing with somebody else is more enjoyable than playing by yourself in these cases. Then we have Cycling, and I found this is one that people don't enjoy all too much, but for me personally, it's definitely one of the better ones. Trying to catch up to first from 100th place is honestly pretty challenging. However, it's also really relaxing, riding along the beaches or through the mountains. So for me personally, I'm going to give Cycling a low E tier. However, I can understand why people might put it lower. And Versus Cycling is actually different from the other Versus modes so far, where I don't enjoy it as much as I enjoy regular cycling. So I'm just going to give it a B tier. Next we have Skydiving. This is one that's fun to play a couple times, but anything more than that. Nothing wrong with it, it's just not very interesting, so I think a C tier is fair here. Alright, Island Flyover. I think this is a pretty unanimously loved sport here. Flying around Woohoo Island and trying to collect all the eye points and pull off maneuvers is really something that will never get old. I think that's a pretty easy high A tier. Alright, Dogfight. Pretty fun mode. Getting to shoot down your friends is always enjoyable. Not as good as Island Flyover, but still one of the best versus modes. B tier for me. Baseball. Now, I replayed all of the sports for this video, and when I was batting, I was having a lot of fun, but pitching was really boring, and it seems Nintendo knew this as well, as they included 0 training games for pitching. If this was batting alone, it would probably be an A tier, but if it was just pitching, it would be an easy D tier. So I'm going to split the difference, and I'm going to put this at a low B. Might be a bit controversial, but it's just what I think, at least. Pitching really brings it down. Boxing. Alright, so boxing is one that I always found a little difficult to control. The nunchuck is obviously not going to be as responsive as a Wii remote, but it's not anywhere near as bad as the controls of the D tier sports. And honestly, I still had a lot of fun with it, even with the controls. Trying to be mad is fun. I mean, I can't justify putting this any lower than A tier. Alright, so tennis is probably my favorite sport from the original game. Objectively, it's probably not very great. It's one of the most bare bones from the original. I would really like to put tennis in S tier, but it's just so bare bones that I don't think I can justify it. So A tier it's going to go. Next up, Golf. Golf is one that was improved significantly in Wii Sports Resort, so I'll save my in-depth thoughts for it there. But Wii Sports Golf is still fun nonetheless, so I'm going to give it a solid B tier. Wii Bowling. Similar to Golf, this one is just so much better in Resort. Still a B though. Alright, Swordplay Duel. This may be a bit of a controversial one, but Swordplay Duel is somewhat flawed, at least for me. The single player mode is really good. Trying to beat Matt is enjoyable, I would say. And the multiplayer mode is fun until whoever you're playing with realizes they can just swing the remote as fast as they possibly can and win nearly every time. And for that reason, Swordplay Duel is going to go in B tier. I'm going to put it at the top of B tier. I know people like this one. I just can't get behind it, personally. It's still good, I just wish there was some kind of anti-swing as fast as you can mechanism implemented in there. Swordplay Showdown, however, is fantastic. That is an easy S tier. Cutting down me after me will never get old to me. Alright, Speed Slice is a bit weaker than the other two. Fun to play now and then, but not my personal favorite. Alright, so now we have both of the Frisbee modes, and I'm just going to firstly put Frisbee Golf right in C tier. It's just like regular golf, but I would rather play regular golf 9 times out of 10. Nothing wrong with it, it's just a bit flawed in that aspect. Frisbee Dog is alright. I'm still going to put it in C tier because the controls don't feel on point to me all of the time, but it's still fun to play here and there. Alright, we have Archery next. This is an easy A for me. The controls are really responsive, and trying to shoot the hidden fruits is fun to go for. So I think this is a pretty easy A for me. Wakeboarding. I personally enjoy this one a lot. The controls feel pretty good the majority of the time. There's a couple times where you try to land and it doesn't really feel like you should have wiped out. But for the most part, going for high scores is fun, and watching my me practically die every single time I hit something is probably the best part. B tier. Alright, pickup game. I will be the first to admit I am terrible at basketball, both in real life and in this game. But regardless, that will not stop me from recognizing that this is definitely one of the best sports in the game. The controls are great, the motion controls work, and trying to work your way up to Tommy is pretty fun, I would say. A tier. 3-point contest, this one's alright. A good practice for pickup games, but nothing more than that. B tier. Now we're on to the good stuff. Table tennis is arguably the best sport out of both games. The controls are responsive. Trying to beat Lucia is actually challenging, unlike the champions in regular tennis from Wii Sports. And I probably sunk more hours into this than any other sport. This is an easy S tier. I wish I could say the same about Return Challenge, but in all honesty, it's just a side mode, just like it was in Wii Sports. Good for practice for the main mode, but nothing more. Alright, lastly we have Wii Sports Resort Golf. Very relaxing to play, and the controls are much better than the original Golf. The putting is not a nightmare anymore, because you can see how far you're taking it back. I actually play golf in real life, and that probably affects my ranking a bit. But for me personally, this is going to go in S tier, but I can probably admit that this shouldn't be this high. I can see an A, I can see a B, and I can maybe even see a C. Alright, that is going to conclude my Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort all games tier list. I hope you all enjoyed. If you're not going to stick around for the channel update, I hope you have a great rest of your day, but if you are, the channel update is going to start now. Alright, so the first thing I want to touch on is my upload schedule. My upload schedule has not been very consistent. I kind of just upload whenever I feel like it. I would like to be more consistent with my uploads, but unfortunately it's really difficult for me to make videos if I'm not feeling motivated to make them. Hence why throughout the last few years I pretty much just made videos on whatever I was interested in at the time. The first video on my channel I believe is from 3 years ago in 2019, and I just made a Minecraft Hunger Games video because that's what I was interested in at the time. And then I think I made Wii Tanks videos last year because that's what I was playing at the time. And just a couple weeks ago I made a My Singing Monsters video because I've been playing a lot of My Singing Monsters recently. So you can see the common theme there, and this video is no exception. I've been playing a lot of Wii Sports Resort recently, and I just felt like making a video on it. So as to when I'm actually going to be posting videos, it's kind of going to be whenever I'm motivated to make one. If I do post a video, I really hope it's more of a quality of like this video. This is, I think, the most editing I've ever done for a video, and I try to make the production quality significantly higher than anything I've produced before. This is my first time actually trying to edit a full-length video, so obviously the quality is not going to be there yet. It may be choppy in parts, and I apologize for that in advance, but this is my first time trying to do it, so I was just trying to do something a little better than what I usually do. And if you guys are enjoying this, I would love to hear some feedback on how I could improve. And if you guys are enjoying this, I'll try to make more. To sum it up, my upload schedule is probably going to stay somewhat the same. I'll try to post more often, but I have school coming up, and that's going to take up a lot of my time this year. I'm going to try to improve my video quality with better editing and sound mixing. And as to the type of content I'm going to make, probably just whatever I'm feeling like making at the time. Anyway, thank you for sticking around for this long, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.